spots, that first distance is completely deleted. They cannot go back and reclaim that distance. Scott Frankie gonna keep that hook. Pulls out to 317.39 feet, 317.39 officially. Next is going to be Sarah Cool at a Macedonia, Iowa international called Hot Stuff. Sarah Cool driving a tractor.
Can you hear me, Brandon?
Yep, I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, you sound good. I just had a crazy day at work, and I just got back to my home office, so I'm going to play some video and let Ron get on. Sorry about that. So, I think he's out rescuing his niece right now off the road, is what he told me. So.
Yeah, sounds like he was on a rescue mission. I just talked a few minutes ago.
So I'm going to queue up a couple videos, and we'll start yakking. Sound good?
Yep.
This is from Spencer on Sundays. This is the Saturday night. I think he's the Diesel Supers, obviously.
Check him out online at caseih.com. Diesel Super Stocks. These tractors weigh in at 8,200 pounds. For a 540 cubic inch max motor that can run up to 4 turbochargers. Up to 640 cubic inches, they can run 2 turbochargers. Like you're on this show here we go.
Over here now. That shape
Sarah Cool got to beat 317.39. Ladies, let's help her out. Out of Macedonia, Iowa. Hot Stuff.
So after this guy goes, if he's got your, yeah, he's got me right now. But after this, let's move you. Okay.
I need to find Doug Meisinger's 352-foot run, Brandon. Must have been windy there Sunday.
Sarah Cool going to park the Hot Stuff International short of that VP leader flag. Right out the middle of the track. VP leader flag.
I'll search for that, Brandon, a little bit. So, Brandon Holcomb, how are you tonight, sir?
Wonderful. How are you?
Good. There's Mr. Ron Stone himself.
Hola.
How are you, sir?
What's happening, guys?
Well, I'm 5 minutes late, and you're rescuing your niece, and poor Brandon, you know.
Hey, I was on time, guys. I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, I think that's important. So I think that's important. So I was queuing up some Diesel.
How long you guys been on? I'm sorry.
Can you hear us okay, Ron?
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
Okay. No, we're just got Brandon on. I was just showing some videos, some Diesel Supers from Spencer on Sunday. And Brandon jumped on because Brandon was on time, and I was just sharing a couple of videos to get started. So, but we got Brandon on, and cool. I think we need to talk about Brandon's new role with the Outlaw Truck and Tractor Pulling Association, and let people ask us questions in the comments and different things like that. It's an exciting move for the Outlaws to to have Mr. Holcomb with the Outlaws now. So, Brandon, what is your official title, and what will you be doing for the Outlaws?
Well, the official title is executive director. To kind of break that down a little bit, I'll be the director of the tech and safety department. First and foremost, we've got to make sure all these vehicles and all these competitors are safe, and just kind of help the class chairs out with their rules, and kind of be a link in the chain, because all of the organizations, all of the performance shops, everybody's got different ideas every day, and there's new technology coming out so often, and it's just so hard for these pollers to be able to keep up with what's going on in every aspect of the sport in every class. And I hope to kind of be able to fill that void of the communication between these the builders, and make sure everybody's rules are somewhat in line, make sure they're enforced, make sure the tech officials are up to date on the never-ending changes in the sport, whether it's turbo technology or fuel technology, fuel testing, things like that. It's just a very, very wide variety of things in the tech department that a lot of people, as far as fans and spectators, they don't quite understand, and we're hoping to shed some light on that and get some new blood in here as well.
Yeah, that's the one thing, Brandon. I follow the sport as a whole, just like you do. You'd always hear John Mears say, "Oh, I'm going to call Rich Ryan," or Rich Ryan say, "I'm going to call John Mears." So basically, you're going to kind of bridge that gap for the Outlaws with those major associations on like turbo technology and what's going on. Is that kind of part of the idea?
Yeah, kind of bounce ideas off, and we've already actually started some of that last week with a few issues, and I think very well for all of us. And like I say, in the past, I've tried to stay up to date with a lot of the turbo guys and the pump guys and the engine guys, just to kind of have an up or down that I need to look out for, and maybe do we need to make a rule for this? Do we need to make a rule for that? Is this new technology going to be legal to fit our current rules and such like that?
Okay. If I'd like to raise my hand and say no components in the 4.1 limited pro stock class, if I
I've between that and tire size, I've had several calls already in the last 10 days.
Yeah, there's been a lot of chatter on tires in our class this year. There's been some bigger, rounder, balloon-shaped tires, I've heard. And I still got my old Firestones because Kaiser had a fire, and we had my new tires. Then my tractor didn't get done, and then I let my other set of tires go because I wasn't going to be running. And yeah, so I still got my old Firestone. So I promise you we're good to go there. So, but Brandon, with the Outlaws, I guess I've kind of always felt like, I don't feel like. The pro stocks are different in the Outlaws, not better, not worse, but they're different. The super farm rules are different in the Outlaws, not better, not worse. I was super happy when the Outlaws allowed the 4.1s, like for me, set up as a PPL tractor or an NTPA tractor, to come pull with the Outlaws. I think it was just a pump rule, honestly. Maybe, I don't know, remember if there was a box charger for the 4.1 class, but I didn't want to have to. I want rules across all associations, right. Brandon. I think it's best for everybody that we can go pulling around. And, I think COVID proved that last year, Brandon, because a lot of people want the Rock Valley or Rockwell, or I've always joked around like there's 17 churches in my town of Richland Center of 5,000 people. And we all believe in God. Well, except one of them, but we're not going to get into that. But I think at the end of the day, we all want to go truck and tractor pulling. We all want to go to some new venues. And it's nice that I don't have to go buy a different pump or a different set of tires, to pull at the level. Granted, I'm not a big deal. I'm not a pro stock or a diesel super, an unlimited super, or a 4-engine mod, but it's nice to know that I can hook up and go about anywhere in the country, Brandon, and be competitive with my piece.
Sure.
So.
Sure.
So
no,
I didn't mean to steal your thunder there, but I like to talk.
No, you're fine. And just kind of looking at the past on the Outlaws, I've been kind of trying to catch myself up to speed on a lot of this, and it looks like over the last few years there have been some rules, like you say, with the 4.1 class and the 85 limited pro class to kind of open things up a little bit. And you get up into the pro stock class and some of those classes like that. There's a lot of chatter in the world right now about, does every organization need limits on these classes? Is there too much breakage and things like that? And I feel like with especially the pro stock class, the Outlaws kind of have the upper hand on that right now. They've
I agree.
took the initiative to cap that off. You don't see the breakage. The guys are a real, tight knit class, and at any given night, it can be any of them out there in front. From what I have watched this summer, and a good all around class. I think that that needs to keep growing like that.
And I don't watch pulloff.com like I used to because I get sick of getting hammered on there. And if I want to have a discussion with somebody, I want to know who it is. But man, Doug Roberts took a lot of holy hell for putting the limits on the classes.
Sure.
And I think he's probably sitting back with maybe that Doug Roberts smirk on his face a little bit in that pro stock class. And we talked to everybody. I know this is the Outlaw show, but Dave and Kurt have allowed me to kind of express my opinion on here and be pretty vocal because I do stay up to date with what's going on. But like you talk to a Colin Ross, he doesn't want limits, with triple bypass. And that's good. He can go pull Champions Tours and he can compete at the highest level with unlimited supers. But not everybody wants to spend that money or that kind of time to chase that. And I feel like having the limits on the pro stock class. I mean, do I love the sound of the pro stock? Oh my God, I got goosebumps. I was down in Nashville, Illinois, Friday and Saturday night. I was right at the starting line and Tucker had to grab me a couple times and tell me to back up because I just love being right there and getting the goosebumps. But so I think an Outlaw pro stock's around 3,200, 3,300 roughly. A PPL Champions Tour Pro, a big pro NTPA over 4,000, 42, 43, depending whose dyno you're on. Does the average fan know the difference between 1,000 horsepower? I don't think so. I don't think they sound a lot different. I was at the Iowa State Fair, but I don't know. I just want pulling to grow. And for the amount of money that we do win as a competitor, how much, because every summer I go, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done, Brandon. I'm a business guy. I like to think of myself as a businessman. And I would think that most of our pullers are too. You can't afford stuff like this in real life and not be pretty damn good in your business life. You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, I'm just excited that the Outlaws are going to have some representation and your reputation precedes you. And you've been involved in pulling a lot, and to have some ears of those, of a Rich Wine, of an NTPA tech official, of a PPL, a John Mears, and you guys could talk amongst each other, behind the scenes. I know a lot of that stuff. And hey, this turbo is coming out. We might want to keep an eye on that or whatever, to keep it fair. Because the reason I want an association, Brandon, is because damn it, I want to go to the pull and know I'm pulling against somebody with the same stuff. I don't expect to win every time or if at all. But I just want to know I have a dog in the hunt. You know what I mean? And that's, to me, that's what associations are there for safety and for rules. Other than that, let's go pulling. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. No, we work for the fans. We work for the pullers. That if it wasn't for them, none of us would be in business and we wouldn't have a show altogether. So, and what I would kind of like to do is a lot like what you do, Jason. You shed a light on a lot of different aspects of the pulling world, not just a tractor going down the track. And, my interest in pulling came from a very, very young age because I grew up in my dad's diesel shop and, I've got diesel fuel and gasoline in my blood. I don't think I have anything, but that in there. And
right.
So for me, yeah, I've drove a lot of tractors. It's fun to go down the track, but I like the behind the scenes. I like to see what's under the hood. I like to know what's making that 3,200 horsepower. And I think there's a lot of people out there like that, especially in the the younger generation. They've never had that opportunity, and we would like to open that up to be able to get the younger people involved, and maybe even get some of these younger ones that are interested in the diesel world or the the gasoline world. Bring them on as tech officials. Let them get their hands dirty in this. That's the only way we're going to be able to grow this sport from every level.
And then for those, I sometimes forget that I pretty much know everybody. Can you just kind of let the pulling world know that are watching a show tonight? We're on 8 different Facebook pages and 1 YouTube channel, the Beer Money one. Who is Brandon Holcomb? Where do you live? Tell us about your family a little bit. Tell us about your real job. Because I know you well enough, and I always take that for granted that everybody, well, hell, if you're watching my show, you should know who Brandon Holcomb is. But who is Brandon Holcomb if I've never heard of you before, and kind of give us a little history?
Well, I live in a small town, northwest Missouri, about an hour and a half, hour and 45 north of Kansas City. Grew up on a farm my whole life. Like I said, my parents had a diesel repair shop on the ag side, and I never went to a babysitter. I grew up in that shop, and I had my hands in things that I shouldn't have had my hands in at a young age, but it turned into a passion that I'll never be able to get rid of, and I don't want to get rid of. I started pulling when I believe I was 10. Well, the first time I went down the track, Dad had put together a B John Deere for me, and I pulled Antique and Classic. And first time I pulled, I believe I ended up with a second place. And it's kind of like going to the casino and winning $100. Once you actually get that trophy the first time, you're hooked for life. Yep. So I did that for a few years, and then was kind of in and out of it. I've had I had an 8-pump tractor too, and I've drove a few tractors for other guys. But like I say, that thrill of that ride is unbelievable. You know that as well as anybody, Jason. But for me, standing behind the buckboard, being under the hood, measuring a turbo or looking at pumps, that's what really gets my blood going, and I'm very glad to be back in the seat of that. I've been involved in this for a long time. I took a step away from I guess you could say, on the professional level a few years ago. Our farm operation just got big, and I couldn't be gone. I was doing 30 to 35 events a summer, anywhere from my hometown all the way to New York. I mean, we were all over the place, and with the farm getting bigger and that being, kind of where my priority needed to be, I had to focus on that. So I stepped away, and Kurt and I had been in communications off and on, for probably a year and a half, just, friendly phone calls and this and that. And, he always told me if I ever wanted to get back in the game, why I would always have a place there. And, I thought about it, and I thought, man, I can't be away like this, and finally we got together and had a nice visit. And this was offered to me where I can do a lot of my work in the off season. I can do a lot of my work from my office. And I'll be at several events this summer. I mean, we're going to get a camper, and my wife and my 2 boys are going to travel with us some and kind of make some little mini vacations out of it, and just, kind of go here and there and do some of the shows. And I'll probably be, a competition director at some of the shows that are a little closer to home as time goes on too. So you're going to see me in every part of this pulling deal, whether it's, the tech side, the sponsorship side, and, anything that Kurt and Dave need of me, I'll be there to do as time allows.
Yeah, no, and that's excellent. And kudos to you for being honest with yourself. I started up my mortgage business about 5 years ago now. And there was a couple years I shouldn't have been tractor pulling, but I still went, and I didn't have the money to do it or the time. And now I'm kind of getting back in the swing of things too, where honestly, COVID was a blessing in disguise for me, even though I think it's a crock of crap about most of it. But to have the summer off, really, because I didn't get the tractor out then, to really just focus on the mortgage business so I could this summer. But it's a fine line. Like, I need to stay in the trailer all day and work and not go out and talk to everybody. And that's hard for me, Brandon, as you know. I like to talk to everybody. But to find that balance, I don't know if the average fan, again, not picking on the fan, we need the fans, but it's not just the money, it's the time that it takes to really run. And the Outlaws is a big, just like you with Western Series and PPL, you were going 8-10 hours from home. Yeah. And, I look at some of the Texas competitors for the Outlaws that, hell, it takes them 8 hours just to get out of Texas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they have another 8 or 9 hours to go. So the commitment level for them to run a Champions Tour, to run a Grand National, to run a big Outlaw circuit like that, it's hard. So kudos to yourself for, just being honest with yourself and taking care of your business and your family. Because honestly, sometimes people don't do that, and it'll end up biting you in the butt down the road. And we don't want that to happen to anybody.
Yep. So. No, we want to be able to do this for many years down the road, and we're all businessmen, and that's what we have to look at first. And I don't want to say this is a hobby, because it's, you, me, Ron, Dave, Kurt, this is a big passion for us. I mean, this is more than just a hobby. And that's what a lot of the fans don't understand either is, we're all one big family. We do this for the fun of the sport, but we do this for the friendship and the bonds that are made. And, I've been in several different associations on local levels all the way to professional levels, and I've made friends there that I'll have for lifelong, and no matter what team you're batting for or who you're talking to that day, you've still got those friends out there in every corner rooting for you. So
yeah, and that's
pretty awesome to have.
That's the one thing. And I don't think, I've had a lot of people obviously call me and text me about you coming on with the Outlaws, private conversation. They've all mostly been very positive. And then there's some of that, wow, he left this series to do this series. You can't have one to have all of them. You need competition, because it keeps you healthy as a promoter to be confident out there. And I think at the end of the day, I've always enjoyed the professionalism of Mears and Richwine. And, the way they talk about rules and different things like that. And John will say, hey, I'm going to call Larry about this. Or, So I'll call Larry and say, hey, what are you doing to our class? What's all the chatter about? Again, the component thing's been very near and dear to my heart just because, well, I'm not going to get into that. But my point is, when I look at the big three, the Outlaws, the PPL, and the NTPA, I think it's important that you have all three of them. And I think it's important that they kind of all have their regions, if you will, of emphasis of the parts of the country to do that. Because just like I tell realtors every day, if it wasn't for FHA, VA, and USDA, we wouldn't have a housing shortage. Right. And if it wasn't for all these, you can't fill all the pools. I mean, I'm sure Kurt and Dave are saying no to pools, and I'm sure Tucker's saying no to pools, and I'm sure Greg Randall's saying no to pools, and I'm sure John and Christy are, because you just can't have so many of those out there. And then the fact that you can go with the Outlaws and maybe run the pro stock class and not have that extra 1,000 horsepower, I think I've talked to enough, I call them big pros, again, not ripping on Medding or any of those guys because they're my friends, but the big pros, they're all watching, they're all paying attention. Nobody really wants to come out and say anything, but they're chatting about it. The mod class with the Outlaws is intriguing to me, because we see a lot of different combinations, kind of like we do in Europe. And I enjoy that, between the turbines and the Chevys and Hemis and all that different things and different configurations, like with a River Rat and different tractors like that. So it's fun. It's fun to see the Outlaws kind of stand on their own, get some national recognition on that level. Because I think they've always kind of been thought of, again, not picking on it, but not quite to that equivalency. And I think the professional image is coming with the Outlaws, with outlawpulling.tv, with Kurt's leadership, with Dave's leadership, and bringing you on, I think accelerates it, Brandon. And I'm not kissing your ass. I don't need to. I think I'm just being honest about it. I think the Outlaws will have a voice with at that high tech level, if you will, to do that. And then so pullers can jump around a little bit. So yeah, Stuart Mays can't leave Nashville on Saturday night and go pull in Spencer because he'd have to change turbos and pumps. But Stuart Mays isn't that far from home. And if we had the same rules, then you could do stuff like that. Again, I don't know why I picked on Stuart Mays, because I guess they won Friday night, and I have that clearly in my head. So, but you know what I'm trying to say. So,
and you're right, Jason. There's a place out here, and I shouldn't say out here, I mean nationwide. There's a place for everybody. I mean, you look at the Outlaw schedule, you look at the PPL schedule, and I'm talking on the for the west side of the Mississippi River where I'm located at. Really nobody has any dates. I mean, there was a lot of rumors kind of took place when this kind of first got out about me getting on board with Outlaws. But again, hey, we're in motorsports. That's people drive off the rumors, I guess. But
I've been called a traitor to my face when people get drinking a little bit, and I'm drinking the Outlaw Kool-Aid. And then I said, no, actually, the Outlaws were smart enough to reach out to me and basically ask me for my help with a little bit of bread. Right. And we have 1 million followers on social media. So kudos to them, of the big three, to reach out and say, hey, do you want to help us grow our brand? And I'm like, yeah, because this is what I love to do. And if you put a little bread in my pocket too, because my wife hates this sport because how much money I spend on it, just being honest about it. So I want everybody to get along, but I also, I like friendly competition too, because I think it keeps you honest between all of the different shows. Hey, here's what I can come in and do into your town for this dollar amount, or here's what I can too. Because what promoters don't do, Brandon, and I know you're a more tech side, is the day of just hanging up a poster at Quick Trip and sitting on the side of the lawn and putting a banner at the Legion to promote a truck and tractor pull, that's gone, because there's so many other things you can do now on a Saturday night, and I think the more we can educate, and it's not just social media. I'm not a moron. Yes, I'm really good at social media, but you it's just only one of the advertising avenues that are out there, Brandon, and you need to use it in a positive way. You know what I mean? So
no, and it's what I tell guys that I've had a lot of questions. I mean, I've had many, countless positive calls and texts and everything the last couple of weeks since this position was announced with the Outlaws. I mean, just unbelievably amount of support that I didn't think I would have from I knew I would have support, but never on the level that I'm getting the support from guys. And it's like I tell them, this is a business. This is a business for Kurt. This is a business for Forrest Lucas. Yes, we're all competitors. We compete against each other. But it's just like me on the farm. I compete with my neighbors on ground and things like that. But at the end of the day, we're all friends. We all drink coffee together. We'll all have a cold one after 5 o'clock together. And that's just what it's about. That's just the way business is. I mean, am I out here trying to, rent a farm out from under him just to spite him? No, I'm not. But if somebody comes along and says, hey, would you like this 100 acres? I'm going to assess the situation anyway. And that's the way any business is. And the sport of truck and tractor pulling isn't any different than that.
No, and I wanted to, to me, that's the elephant in the room, Brandon. And I would rather just talk about it openly and honestly with everybody than pretend that you've never, worked for any other association.
Sure.
Or, like that. Just get it out there and stay positive and move on, because I think it's going to be a blessing for the Outlaws to have you on board, and the ear that it's going to give them, because you have a lot of contacts that the other people in the Outlaws don't have. You know what I mean? Because of your national presence before this. So I'm excited for you. Really excited for you.
I think there's going to be a lot of exciting things in the future. Want to kind of get some classes built up on numbers. Maybe entertain some diesel pickups again. That kind of
that
got put down a little bit. I shouldn't say put down, but the numbers were very low on the Outlaws there at one time, and I think we can get that brought back. With some certain events and shows. I've had a few of those diesel pickup guys reach out to me already. Pretty excited about that, because that's a void that needs filled, because there's a lot of fans in the stands that's what they're there for. I mean, you've got to have every class, because, somebody's there to see a 2-wheel drive. Somebody's there to see a mod. Somebody's there to see a pro stock. And, with the younger generation and the diesel pickups on a Saturday night running around the streets, if they can see one go down a track and blow smoke like that, they're going to pay $20 to come do that. So,
yeah. Well, and I think a lot of times sometimes when you get a job, you're coming into something that's broken, and the Outlaws are not broken, and you don't need to fix it. But can it improve? Absolutely. And that's why Kurt and Dave brought you into the Outlaw family, to take it to that next level. And I'm glad to hear you say the diesel pickups, because that's my biggest complaint of the Outlaws, because I feel like, and if anybody watches me, they've heard me say this a bajillion times. I grew up on a farm where we took the 40/20 and the 1066 into town to the fair, turned the pump up a little bit and hope we didn't break it. Where if I'm 30 or younger, probably didn't grow up on the family farm anymore like I did or you did, and you continue to do it. But a diesel pickup, I'm going to drive home tonight in a town of 5,000 people, and I'm going to see 6 or 7 trucks with hood stacks on them. I race them on my little caddy. I smoke them. I get up next to them, but that's just me. But that's my point. I think it's important for the fans to do that. And then there are parts of the country, like 3.0 trucks in Wisconsin, they're dead. There's only like 5 or 6 of them. Or, unless you get way up north, you see some 2.6 and 3.0s where the 3.6s have really taken off. But out where you live, the 3.0 truck and the 2.6 truck is still a mainstay. So I think that's important too, to find the trucks that you can get, to come onto that, Brandon.
Yeah, no, that's just one of the many things that's kind of in the works here for the future. It takes time to make all that stuff happen. I mean, and like I say, I'm not here to try to reinvent the wheel of this, because it doesn't.
You don't have to.
I mean, we need there's just some voids that need filled, and the class chairman do an amazing job with this, and the current tech officials do an amazing job. I mean, I went to 2 or 3 Outlaw shows this year. Went out to Wisner, and I was blown away at that Wisner show. I mean, I've never. I commend Dave Nelson for the way he sent stuff down the track, because I think it was like 1.6 minutes in between everything going down the track, and 190 hooks Saturday night, and we were done and in the pits drinking a beer by 11:15. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So, to step in there and try to change any of that, or want to change any of that, absolutely not. They've got it figured out.
And Esden Lane was there too. That's all I heard about Wisner. The Esden Lane.
We had a very good time with Esden. That's one of the things I love about this sport. I remember years and years ago when I first got into the bigger level of things, I got to meet Dennis and Brian Schrammick, and I thought, man, this is unbelievable. I mean, I watched him grow up. I watched him in Louisville, and I never ever thought I would get to meet them, let alone become good friends. I mean, I still talk to those guys, every once in a while. And then to get to stand up there and BS with Esden Lane and have a drink with him and watch him autograph Jerry Sutter's chest. I mean, it's just stuff like that is just, unbelievable. I mean, that's why I love this, and that's why I've missed it so much. I mean, being away from this for a couple years, the first 6 months or so, I thought, oh, this isn't too bad. I'm kind of enjoying this, not being around. And then, man, it just really, really got to working on me. And I think Wisner was probably the turning point for me to think, you know what, Dave and Kurt's been talking to me on this deal, and seeing the professionalism of the show here and the fun afterwards. I can't say no to this. I got to get back into it. So
yeah, my first, the Outlaws are kind of, I still think, a hidden secret for pullers, probably east of the Mississippi. I don't know. I'm just going to make up a fictitious line in my mind, but the people that have gone out and done it, they've enjoyed it. You know what I mean? And to see Esden Lane come out, and then I know Colin and Travis and Paynes and a couple of the big diesel super guys came out to Rock Valley last year because I think Rockwell had to move.
Mm-hmm.
It was good. And then we did our little thing in Dubuque with my Remedy beer. Travis was there, Payne was there, Taylor had the super there, and Peterson's there with the mod. And it was kind of funny because I parked my tractor around the corner because I had all these Grand National pullers. I just put them right in front of the bar there.
Around the fire hydrant.
Yeah, I was like, where's your tractor at, Jason? I'm like, that's out front. It doesn't matter. That's the bone twister. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
But it's fun to expose everybody to that. And I think that's one thing social media is doing, because I thought of this the other day. Before the internet, all I had was the Puller magazine, Brandon. That's it. Unless you went to the pull, it was the Puller magazine. And I mean, that's when super farms, I'm 45, and that's when super farms were really kind of like coming on and hot. And it was like the new thing. And man, I had every super farm puller memorized, where they were from and the nation from that Puller magazine. Then the internet happened, and the websites and pulloff.com and stuff like that. And then now social media, everybody can do it, their own thing. And it's so good for the sport. It is so good for the sport, just from a recognition standpoint, to get people out and doing all of that stuff.
Well, it is. And one thing about with the social media, back when we used to get the Puller magazine, 30 years ago, 25 years ago, we seen diesel supers, we never seen a pro farm, or we never seen a naturally aspirated 2-wheel drive. But, with social media and the way we can get things out there today, we can put a spotlight on every class out there, and every class needs that spotlight, because,
they deserve it.
I don't care if you're pulling a 500 horse farm stock tractor or, a 4,000 horse pro stock. That's your tractor and that's your passion. And you deserve as much recognition as the next guy, for no matter what kind of vehicle you've got.
Well, and Brandon, to your point. So my two most popular videos from Nashville, I was down there for the Southern Illinois Showdown over the weekend with Brad Holzauer and 618 Motorsports. They invited me down. The number one popular video I posted was Jack Mays winning on Friday night. And then second popular video was the 12,500 pound farm stocks coming across the scale of the IHSFPA.
Yeah. And
I know that's crazy. And I was telling Brad Holzauer about that, because he's like, we need more pro stocks. So I want 25 of them, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, Brad, stock diesel pickups sometimes, farm tractors, because you know why? People can relate to them more than they can a 4,000 horsepower pro stock, or a super modified 2-wheel drive. Yeah, they're cool. And do I want to watch 80 farm stocks go down the track? Hell no. I do not ever want to do that.
Sure.
But the way they ran that show. I think they had IPA I don't know. They had a hot farm class go down, but it wasn't part of Western Series or Silver Series.
Right.
Go down the right track. And then they had the IFHPA farm stocks go down. They kind of broke the track in. And then we had 6 big classes, if you will, after that, of the either Champions Tour or Western Series. And it was a really nice show, because fans saw everything from, like you said, a 500-600 horsepower farm stock tractor going 12 mile an hour to, Braden Stramick pulling Youngblood. It was pretty neat. It was pretty neat.
Right.
So.
Yep. Nope. We used to do a show, and when I was with Western Series, we did a pull in Humboldt, Iowa, and I believe Outlaws have it now. But we would take 20, 25 vehicles up there, and that's all the promoter wanted at that show, because the grandstands was completely packed. But honestly, they weren't there to see us. They were there to see I think there was 60 to 70 non-sanctioned gas pickups, diesel pickups. We pulled concrete trucks. We pulled somebody had a station wagon on a 4-wheel drive pickup chassis. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And when our PPL show was done, there wasn't a single person get up and leave those stands. I mean, they were all there to see that stuff. And like I say, there's just a lot of that stuff like that that's overlooked in this world on promoting all of this.
The neatest thing you've said to me, we've been jacking for about 30 minutes now, is that you missed it. And my wife says to me all the time, wouldn't you just be happy announcing? And I told her no, because I love announcing. And I worked with Ron at the State Fair. And I did a little bit with Leroy and Eli down there at Nashville this last weekend. And I like to kind of wet my whistle 4 or 5 times a year announcing, but my passion is with my competitors. Jerry and Connie Mullinex are watching right now, and watching Jerry watching the track and see Connie kind of sitting there with her little growly face before she pulls, and then everybody just picking that spot in the track and all the competitors whispering and watching Brandon Bungart back up and seeing how the sled's sinking in this spot. It's just so fun. And then it pissed me off I didn't have my tractor there because I broke it again. But that's the fun of it. So what I tried to do when I don't have the tractor, which has been more than not this year, unfortunately, is I've been taking a lot of pictures from that starting line and a lot of videos because I got Ryan Rusink down at the end and Cody Vanderholm and, Jesse Post and Adam Wilson taking videos from that and pictures from that point of view. I was trying to show the starting line, and I really enjoyed that. And I did that at Rock Valley as well. Man, I wish Rockwell and Rock Valley weren't both rocks. I do that to each other all the time. 2 great events in Iowa, but I mix them up. But it's fun to hear you say you missed it. And I think that's why this year I feel has been so successful, Brandon, for a lot of the promoters. I think if I asked 80% of them, they probably have had their best crowds they've ever had, unless they hit some weather. Weather sucks about, what it's like. There can be a small line of storms and everybody's got a smartphone now and see that coming. It scares them away. But it's been a great year for pulling, kind of a resurgence, if you will. I think we kind of took it for granted for a while. I'm not going to lie to you. I think everybody did. I think the fans did and stuff like that. And what I really want promoters to do is to let the fans know what they're going to see when they're going to get to that event. Are you going to see the highest level of pulling? Or are you going to see a good state level show? Right. Or are you going to see some farm stock and some stock diesel pickups? Because a lot of people go to their local county fair, but they've never seen a mod or a big pro or a super modified 2-wheel drive truck before. And, I've been challenging promoters to promote that way and then getting fans to see that, because you and I take it for granted that everybody knows what we know about the sport of pulling and see the highest level pulling. When you're around it every single weekend, you kind of go, oh, this is just what I see. There's Bill Eichner. Yeah, I see him every weekend. You know what I mean? And that's kind of one of the things that I want promoters to do a better job of, letting their fans know that what you're seeing. And announcers are doing a better job of that too. Yeah, that's what we do. So
well, having guys like you and Ron announce. I mean, you've all been behind the scenes of this, and that helps a lot too. I mean, the one thing about an announcer is they have to know every corner of this sport, because they need to talk about tech things, they need to talk about rules, they need to throw some humor in there. I mean, I commend you guys, because there's no way I could come up with enough stuff to talk about as an announcer. So
I am very blessed, and the one thing I'm good at is talking. Okay, I'll be honest with you, Brandon. So
I'm pretty good at that.
I like throwing some of the comments up here. Russ was large, a big one there for 13 years. Yeah, so he's saying, basically echoing what we've been saying. I got some Jerry juice in the office here. I should go get that out, Jerry. So that's good stuff. So what else is going on? If you're just joining us, Brandon, what's your title again? I forgot it already.
Executive director is actually my title, with kind of a focus on the director of the tech and safety, and then a regional event director in the future.
Got it. So if you're just joining us, that's why I got Brandon Holcomb on the show. He has a new position with the Outlaws for 2022. And I'm assuming you'll come to the banquet in November and kind of get a chance to meet everybody.
Yep, I'll be down there. Excited to meet everybody. I've met several of them throughout my travels over the years. A lot of familiar faces, a lot of people I'm anxious to get to see, and new faces that I'm ready to see and get to meet on a personal level as well. So pretty excited about all this. Be a lot of things to do this winter, before the banquet and after, to get ready for next year. And then as soon as the crops get in on my end, we'll hit the road and start getting some shows in.
Ray Lynn gave us a nice comment. Can you see that, Brandon?
Yeah, well, consider the source, Jason. That's all I can say about that.
She was down there at the Laser Saturday night down in Nashville, and I went down there and I started singing Sinead O'Connor all by myself. So I talked to her for a little bit.
I always tell her, I said, I don't know what to think about you. When I look at your choice of your current boyfriend, I just don't know if I can keep the respect for you that I've had, over the years. So, and then sometimes agrees with me on that too. So
yeah, there's a picture of them right now on the screen. So Sam had said something earlier. Yeah. Colby Seth calls you the Hulk. Is that a nickname? Colby. Or
it's a very good honor to know Colby Seth. He's probably one of the most popular. I don't know what he is, but he's pretty popular. I'll put it.
Yeah, he's a sketchy hooker, is what he is.
He can dance, man. That guy can dance. I'll give it that. I got some videos I can probably throw up later of that.
Please send those to me. I'll post them on Beer Money. So Julie Waddell says, congratulations, Brendan. You will do great things. Smiley face.
Yeah. Nope.
Jared's watching from the ER in Salina, Kansas, I think. Long story. I know he's actually okay. His daughter was texting me today, so it's not as scary as it
it's just
sounds.
his older age kicking in. You know, when you get like him and Jerry Molnix, I mean, you don't buy green bananas. I mean, you just
Right.
I've told Jerry Molnix that for a long time. So
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Colby, I can't wait to meet Brandon.
I'll autograph for you, Cole.
Yeah. And then go ahead. Sam says, whoa, whoa, whoa. So yeah, careful there. Sam, we can I decide what comments go on the screen, Sam. That's all I'm going to say. So you can yak all that you want, and I'm not going to hammer our guest tonight. So it's all good. So, yeah. So Josh is our announcer down in Oklahoma and comes up a lot. He lives in Oklahoma. What town is? I bought a new cell phone there, Brandon. I forget the town of it. Where Brandon's from. They had an outlaw poll. Chickasha. He's from Chickasha, where Dave Bennett's from. So I dropped my cell phone on the way down to Clint Medding's phone. Did I tell you that story?
Haven't heard that one.
So, I love to get video and pictures, right? Like of anything. And there was a really cool, like long, low truck, some Peterbilt. And I was with my Schaefer oil rep, Brian, and we're going down the Tulsa Turnpike, 80, 85 mile an hour. I said, hey, get past him and then slow down. I'm going to get a video of this truck running up on us. Well, I was not drinking. It was sober. But I just put my phone out the window like not to do. And that freaking wind grabbed that phone. Brandon and my phone bounced down the Tulsa Turnpike. And I looked at Brian, my Schaefer rep, and he goes, what happened? I said, I dropped my phone. He goes, no, you didn't. I said, no, I did. I need a new phone. And it like hit me like I'm a mortgage guy. My phone is my world, like an agent calling me or something like that. So we were driving like 90 mile an hour to get to a US Cellular. And she goes, if you get here by 7, we'll get you a new phone. Brandon, I got there at 7:02. The doors were locked. The shades were pulled. They want nothing to do with me because you don't get a new phone in 5 minutes. So, but I put it out there on the Facebook. And then Josh said, hey, stop by Chickasha, Oklahoma. So we swung a little bit this way to go down to Meddings. And I got me a new phone, and I still got it with me, Brandon. So far, so good. So.
Maybe you ought to get an extra one for next time that happens.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's cool. It's all good in the hood here. Danny Graven says, even though sometimes the weather in Iowa didn't cooperate, there were some great polls this year. I agree, 1,000,000%. Raylan says she should drink some more juice so he can't feel the pain. Yeah, Jerry, did they let you? That'd be all right. I would take Jerry juice through the IV. I'm not gonna lie, it would be good for me. Dave Nelson says, Outlaw is proud to have you in our family. Yeah, so that's a nice thing.
Yeah, Dave. Me and Dave and Kurt's had a lot of conversations lately, and it seems like the three of us have clicked pretty good on ideas and things like that. That's part of the reason I'm so excited to see the future of this, because I'm working with a couple of really good guys that's got some really good ideas and a lot of motivation behind them. So
my favorite thing about the Outlaws is the entrepreneurial spirit. That thinking outside the box, Brandon. That's why I'm drawn. People ask me why I'm drawn, but besides sponsorship, I'm just being honest. I'm drawn to the Outlaws because of the entrepreneurial spirit and the free will to kind of, hey, Jason, promote us. Do your thing. Don't get over too crazy. But that's why I don't drink and announce anymore, because I barely have a filter when I'm sober, Brandon. So it's all good. So. Ryan Boyson says, welcome aboard. So that's a tractor you need to tech right away. That's the first one. I'd tear it all the way down. That one right there, Brandon.
Well, I was actually going to try to get to Spencer this weekend. We started harvest about a week ago, and I didn't think I was going to be able to get rid of any grain this weekend. And that changed, and we had nice weather. And I thought, man, I'd really like to get up there and meet everybody, but I also want to be at the banquet too. So I better stay here, take care of things at home, and hopefully get everything done before the banquet, and then come down and meet everybody, and we can have a good time. So,
yep. If you just joined us, Brandon Holcomb, the new executive director of the Outlaws, is on the show with us tonight. Ron, I did a horrible job. Normally I get the link out 24 to 48 hours ahead of time, and work was crazy today. And then I left my other office to get back here, an hour drive. I left with 45 minutes to spare, tried to drive fast. You know how that goes, Brandon.
Yeah.
Then Ron texted me, and his niece has had car trouble along the road, and he said, will you get there? We got Brandon come on tonight. I'm like, sure. I know Brandon. No problem at all. Yep. If anybody has any questions or comments, please type in the comments. We'll ask Brandon. We'll wrap this up here in a few minutes so you can get back out there. That was the one thing. Once you get past Labor Day with harvest, because Russ Yoder was going to come to Nashville, and my buddy Paul Romack was all excited. And then Russ texted Thursday. He's like, I just checked my corn. It's time to go. And you know, as a farmer, that's your bread and butter. It's go time, and there's not.
Weather is unbelievably nice here. We've been in the 70s the last couple of days. Had a little rain shower yesterday, but it's gorgeous. And I would much rather be doing this now is when the snow's flying, and I want to be doing tractor pull things. So
yeah. Well, cool. So I mean, what phone calls do you want from competitors right now, like over the winter? Like, what are you looking for from Outlaw members or people that like the diesel truck guys that possibly want to come? You want to get that going at the Outlaws. What are you looking for? Some feedback, Brandon, or?
Yeah, I mean, the first year of this, I kind of feel like it's going to be maybe more of a learning experience for me than anything. I mean, what issues are out there? What are you seeing in your class? What are your concerns about your class as far as what's going on now or what the future might hold for it? And what can we do to make your classes better? Every class has room for improvement, I'm sure, and no matter what association it is, and nobody's ever perfect, but we sure want to get as close to it as we can. So,
Brandon, if there's one thing you could do, and this is a pretty consistent theme across the world, all the pullers, is if there's a way you get all the associations on the same fuel and water, I would love you for the rest of my life.
Yeah,
I've had to change.
That would actually make the tech job a lot easier too.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like that's a hard thing to get done. So
well, and there's some sponsorship I know with NTPA for a long time with the biodiesel. I know there's some VP connections with the Outlaws. But 3 weeks ago, I hit NTPA, Badger State, and ECI in the same weekend, and I had like 6 jugs of fuel. And Tony was like, "Why are you doing this to me, Jason?" And I'm like, "Dude, I want to go pull and shut up, mix it up, let's go." But that would be, and that's one common thread. And I don't know if you'll ever be able to do it, but you can take suggestions, and
sure.
If you're like half of my friends, half of my ideas go in their ears and out the other, and they pretend they never heard them again. Unless it's a good idea, then they hang on to that. So I'd like that one.
It really is, and I look at things from a tech official standpoint too, and yes, we've got to have rules, and we have to have rules enforced, but we also have to have rules that are easy to enforce. I mean, I think at times we could write so many rules and get a class calmed down, but can we check all those rules? Does anybody have the time, the knowledge, or the want to do it? No, probably not. So we kind of have to watch that fine line there on some of that. I kind of feel like.
Russ is saying mini rods again. I've always thought the Outlaws would be a good home for a good small block mini class, like the tri-county pullers we have up here in Wisconsin, Northern Illinois. So there's another idea for you, Brandon. So I don't know what Missouri clubs have. Like, am I saying that right? Like the Champions Tour mini rods are the big blocks, right? And who's the guy that bought Kester's old chassis, Jaspers? That's a small block class, right?
I believe so. In Missouri, maybe down around St. Louis, but as far as any groups around here local to me, I mean, they're just non-existent. I mean, we have what they call the Econo rods, just a small block Chevy motor, big block Chevy motor, Ford motor, whatever, in a tractor type chassis. But as far as anything mini like that, that's just never really been to this area, unless the Champions Tour comes in. And I know Outlaws played with it. I believe, was that last year that the Outlaws played with it? Or
18 or 19?
A while back. I know
that because Ulmer, I think, still has one. I think somebody's commenting right now about that.
That's just something that really, never got going on this side of the river. And, much like a lot of other classes, it's more about your geography than anything. And, we don't have that many, what I would call big pros out here, like Stewart and Cody and those guys. There's just not that many of them on this side of the river, but you go on the east side of the Mississippi. I mean, man, there's,
they're everywhere.
20 of them on any given night. So,
yep. Well, it's that class that Tucker runs at the Midwest Winter Nationals. I think it's a small block class. They're a blower class, but they don't have the bigger.
Right.
I'm sure somebody will jump on
big
here.
Class. I'm not exactly sure. Is that an ITPA class, or I don't know for sure.
You're right. I think it's Jaspers is their name. I feel bad because I've had him on the show before, but I can't remember everybody's names all the time. In my mind, I see squirrels and I take off one way. But yeah, okay, that's what Eli said. Okay, cool. It's a small block class. Eli's an ITPA announcer, and he was in Nashville the other night.
Yep.
Jaspers. Yep. Anyway, I don't know. That's just an idea too. But to Josh's point too, he just commented about the sled as well. But I know that Kurt tried it. I think the year I was in Rock Valley, so it would have been 18 or 19. I think 19. They tried it. And they just didn't get the bigger numbers. But it takes a while to grow it. I mean, I've talked to some Region 2 big mini rods that they said that for 2 or 3 years they just went to polls for free just to put on a show, Brandon, before it caught on.
Right.
So,
yeah.
But yeah, kind of going through some of the comments here to see all that stuff, because we all want to tell you our opinion, Brandon. We all want to tell you our opinion.
Well, hey, that's what I want. I mean, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's being talked about out there. And
I never want your job, anything to do. I just want to be happy-go-lucky, Jason.
There's days it's great, and then every once in a while you get that one phone call, and you're like, why in the heck am I even doing this? Yep. But there's enough good ones to go with the bad. It makes it all worth it, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm super glad to be back. So
no, I'm happy, and I know the Outlaws are happy to have you. And I'm just kind of reading through all the comments here. So California is a long way from the outlaw country, but I know there's some out there as well too. Mm-hmm. So I think Robbie Fagundes had the sled and he was renting it to the Outlaws. I think he still has that sled. So who knows what will happen? But
yeah,
if I win the lottery, then I'm just going to take it. It's going to be the Beer Money Pulling Team League, and they're all going away.
There you go. There you go.
You can be my tech guy, and we'll go pulling. So.
We'll do it. We'll do it.
I bought some tickets the other day for that big one, Brandon, but I didn't win.
So. I was going to say you better buy some tickets to start with. That's going to be step one. But
I have a feeling though, even if I did win, my wife wouldn't tell me. I think she knows how fast I would blow it. So
yeah, you might want to buy 2 tickets. Give her the one that's not the win.
Kurt says, real happy Brandon has joined the OTTPA. So Kurt, we've said nothing but good things about you the entire show, in case you just got on here. So it's all good. Will Mans, welcome, Brandon. We got to keep Will from loading 4-wheelers by himself. That's the lesson we learned this summer. So it's all good. So, well, Brandon, do you got anything else before we wrap it up? I'm starting to babble more than normal, and it's almost been an hour.
I'm sure I've talked enough. Nobody else wants to listen. So, no, like I say, I think we've touched on everything, and don't to all the outlaws and anybody that's thinking about being an outlaw, anybody that's thinking about being a tech official, any interest at all. Don't be afraid to get a hold of me. My contact info will be out there here in the next few days, and get a hold of me. Let's visit a little bit. If I can't take your call at the time, I'll definitely get back with you, and we'll get some good things in the works. Yeah,
and I've been involved more this year with the Outlaws, doing some promoting stuff behind the scenes. Nothing, not to your level, but promoting the Outlaws and things like that. And everything's been fun. It's been enjoyable, professional, kind of what I'm used to, and I've really, really enjoyed all that. So.
Yep. Nope. I think it's going to be a good time for everybody.
Who's Kyle Pedley? I feel like I've heard of that guy before. I think I've seen his name.
Does he pull a red tractor? Maybe.
I think so. I think it's got 6 or 7 turbos on it.
There you go. There you go.
It's all good in the hood. So and then we're just getting ready to quit, Ron. So,
well, there
what?
You go.
What?
Well,
we're gonna let Brandon go, and then you and I are gonna talk about points. Okay.
All right. Yeah, I lost signal right when I pulled up to change her flat tire, and then I realized I had like 2% battery on my phone, so it wasn't going to work. So I'm home now.
I'm at too. My phone's going to pass out on me here about any minute. So I guess
that's what everybody says when they don't want to talk to me anymore. They come up with excuses. Brandon, welcome to the Outlaw family. And like I said, any pullers, well, you heard Brandon. You know how to get hold of him, and he'll be at the banquet in November. And Brandon, like you said, you're walking into a great situation and only to improve it. So we're glad you're here.
Yeah. So. Thank you, guys, and thanks for having me on to kind of introduce myself.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, Brandon.
See you, buddy.
Yep. We'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
Take care.
Well, now everybody's going to go away. This was a pretty popular show. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
The numbers, it was funny. The numbers kept growing and growing and growing. I think once people realized about 15, 20 minutes in that Brandon was on. So it was kind of neat to see that, because I did an awesome job of letting people know, I was really bad today, Ron. I didn't even send you the link. I haven't done that since like the first or second.
I know, right? That's I was like, for surely he sent the link, and I just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. So
that's all right.
Ron, I got to go pee really bad. So you start talking about the points. Gotcha. And I'm going to grab some Jer juice, and I'll be right back. But you start talking, okay?
Wow. Talk about major malfunctions.
Well, here, no. Let me play some video then for a little bit, because I seriously got to pee really bad.
Oh, yeah. We want you to go to the bathroom.
Yep. Here's Esden at whatchamajig, Spencer. So I'm going to play videos for a couple minutes, and then if you could get the points queued up, away we go. Yep. All right?
Gotcha.
.47 feet, 247.47 for Esden Lane and a red line fever. Looks like we need a pull-off. We need a pull-off vehicle. God. Give Evan Lane a round of applause. Good to see him out pulling that tractor. I think he may have just sprung a leak on an oil line on the tractor, is what they're saying. The tractor was definitely fluttering. He was coming down the track there. Not sure if he's having other mechanical issues or not, but an oil line may have been the culprit for the smoke.
Yeah.
Tractor coming up next comes out of Goodland, Kansas. Goodland's way out in far western Kansas, almost Colorado.
Didn't Meister blow it out the door like 352 or something like that?
Well, he's coming up right there.
Really good hook this season.
Yeah, that tractor's pretty tough this year. I'm glad he's got it running so good.
And
Jerry
Outlaw,
Setter, if you're still watching, this was last night's show. I'll finish it off tonight during the
Minneapolis,
Outlaw show.
Moline. Do we have any Mini-Mo fans here this afternoon? Good running tractor. Got Frankie currently in the lead here.
Kevin Davis is hammering on you, Ron. So.
I see that. Thanks, Kevin.
You want me to block him?
9, 3,
You want me to block him?
That guy. Block him. Well, Kevin.
What's on his sign? Golden Harvest and what? Soybeans? Soybeans? I can't see his sign there. Syngenta. He's a Syngenta seed dealer.
I changed a flat tire in about 5 minutes with a lug wrench.
Did
And a
I did a video of Scrappy starting up at the starting line down at Rock Valley, and it has over 1 million views. His wife was sitting there just hammering it with ether, and I was just down there giggling the whole time. So
Goodland, Kansas.
Did you notice how I pronounced his name there, Jason?
My singer.
Yeah. Did you hear that? I said it correctly.
That's because he told us, or he told me. This thing's a beast.
Oh, how about it, Spencer, Iowa? Beautiful pass for Doug Meisinger.
There, you said it correctly again, Ron. I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, once you tell me, I won't forget it. I was going to say.
So this is going to be outlawed with Ron Stone after hours because we're approaching hour number 2. And I told my wife I was going to be home around 8 tonight, but I lied again, so it's all good. So. But she can find me. She just has to go on the old Facebook.
So I kind of had an idea. I drove a light limited pro this weekend.
Yeah, it's some Andrew Meister guy, the mayor of some town.
Is he a mayor? Really? Is that true?
No, I make stories up, just like Hollywood. So.
But
were you in the day session or the night session, Ron?
The
day session.
Second class.
Julie Rose, who promotes the Hutchinson Grand National Minnesota poll, she texted me and she goes, that Ron guy that's on your shows, he's pulling a tractor right now. And it's, somebody, he lost a bet. I know the other guy did. So it's pretty funny.
I tell you, there he is.
There's the mayor.
Andrew.
What town are you the mayor of, Andrew?
I ain't no mayor.
Where you at?
Missouri.
Hey, I just want to say thanks, many thanks for letting me drive the tractor, and apologies as well for.
Did you screw up, Ron?
For screwing up.
Did you
your
suck?
second points hook.
I ain't too worried about it.
So, yeah, hindsight's 20/20. A couple of things I would have done different, but I had never driven a smoker tractor. Thanks, Mr. Ham. I appreciate that. He said great run, but you probably watched the video and seen me hitting that right brake. You told me let it go left, but it seemed like the angle it was trying to take the trajectory was a little harder to the left than what I was expecting. So I did jab the brake a couple of times on the right side to try to bring it back in. But
how early in the show was your hook, Ron? Like halfway through the show, or
second class 14th hook? And now let's see. I can tell you how many hooks are in the first class here. Light super stocks were first.
Yep, I'm scrolling through the Outlaw pulling.tv.
Light super stocks were first. There were 9 of those. Then I was 14th hook in the second class.
The War Wagon, is that a light limited pro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like second hook.
Okay. I'm just scrolling through the stuff right now, guys. Andrew, is Brooke your wife?
Yes.
Is
She's
she-
in the other
She's
room.
really pretty.
is
She's
she-
really pretty. I see her profile photo. How did you pull that one off, sir?
I tell her that every day.
I don't know Brooke, but it looks like she's giving me the business a little bit there already.
Well, you drove their tractor, Ron.
Yeah. But it was a blast. I'll tell you that. That was a blast. I knew right away when I when I was releasing the clutch, I probably should have had a little more RPM, but about 3,500, it really started coming up fast. And that digital tack, once I seen it get up over 4, I thought, well, it's going to hit 45 real quick. That's when I started releasing the clutch. So you critique my run, Andrew. Tell me what I did wrong. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Go ahead and critique my pass. Tell me what I did wrong. He's going to cue it up here, but
Oh, I got it. Well, I got it right here.
But it was my first time driving a smoker tractor. I've driven 4-wheel drive pickups and a couple of turbine mods, but completely different sensation. I got the tunnel vision and all as I was sitting there, and the flag green.
I want to know who's going to pay for it when he blows
Bennett's
the motor.
announcing?
For that class, yeah. He showed up.
Andrew was supposed to be the guy walking in the funny legs and the black shirt right there. Supposed to be
I kind of wussed out on the announcing deal, Ron.
something wrong.
I needed your help down there.
Come to the announcer. Help him out, folks. Ron Stone. Sounding good. Had a little trouble with the clutch.
Actually, come off the line, front end come up, and it worked really good. And honestly, when I seen you hit that brake, I'm like, please don't. Because I told you before you started hooking, I'm like, don't worry. I've never touched a brake pedal in like 2 years. You ain't going to have to worry
Really?
about it. And the last time you hit the brake, it got to bouncing, and
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, heck, the first time on the tractor, I would have done the same thing. Everything happens so fast.
It does. And literally the trajectory felt like it was going to turn sharper to the left.
Mm-hmm.
I was, you know what I mean? But
Yep.
Ron, when I first started pulling, the joke was I hit the wrong brake so many times. My dad actually labeled them, if I want to go this way, hit this brake. It was like backwards, but it made sense to me. And that's still kind of the running joke. But yeah, you feel like it's just going to go straight left on you when it's just kind of easing out a little bit. But
yeah, it was heading that way, and I did what he told me not to do. And ended up 14th out of 18. So
I guarantee you next time you do just fine.
yeah, I didn't snuff it. So
no, you just got the bounce, and once you did that break and you lost your momentum, that's going to happen to anybody,
Yeah.
Ron. So,
but it was a blast. I loved it. That was awesome.
Brooke says all in good fun. So, and then Lundells are saying maybe we need to get you on a green one, Ron.
Oh,
Heck
boy.
yeah! Sign these announcers up. Let them drive them. Let them drive them.
Yeah, that was fun. And I should have, I guess, grabbed the throttle a little lower. Man, I've got long arms, Andrew, but that throttle went way down there.
It goes way down there.
At first, I was like, do I have it pushed far enough? Couldn't feel it stop. So
Andrew was supposed to be the guy walking in the funny legs and the black shirt right there. Supposed to be announcing, but they didn't want him cussing on the microphone when he did something wrong.
Bennett's not wrong there either.
Here comes an announcer. Help him out, folks. Ron Stone. Sounding good. Had a little trouble with the clutch.
there, hit the brake.
How close were you to the white line, Ron?
Oh, I don't even know. I don't remember. Not dangerously close at the end, but things go through your mind when you're doing that. Like, how good Mark Ulmer, a light super stock there. That'd be fun. Mark Ham says, Andrew, you push the throttle down and hold it with your foot. Is that right? You don't use the brakes, so you might as well hold it with your foot over there.
Right.
But yeah, it was a blast, and I appreciate it, Andrew. You let me do that, and sorry about the points deal.
No, I ain't worried. We had fun. That was our deal a week earlier.
Yeah, that was a good time.
Couldn't let you down on that deal.
Good time. So, you had a good season this year. I mean, talk about your season here. Do you have any troubles with the tractor? Did you make it through the season unscathed?
Honestly, I can't complain about the season. I mean, I started out, I don't remember, in Arlington, Ravenna, and had a bunch of good hooks, and I think I was third in the points, and Wiggins was second, and Rui was first, and then I think Wiggins had to drop out for a couple pulls, so that pushed me up into second place, and I got as close to about 10 points to Rui, and then I had some disastrous hooks in Wisner and Iowa State Fair, and it spaced us out quite a bit, and then Wiggins and them guys come back on strong, and didn't really have any troubles with the tractor. I thought I was going to have troubles. Had a turbo that was on about its last leg, and it was kind of funny. We were in Mobile and got to looking underneath the hood, and I'm thinking, oh, that ain't good. The old turbo, the fin on the turbo was bent back, and that's when Myers was going to drive that night, and I'm thinking, oh, that's fine. I'll just let him drive, and he'll look like the idiot when it blows up, But it hung in there, and we got it sent away and got it back in about 3 to 4 days, and everything was fine, and we carried on. So,
yeah. Speaking of Hollywood, where's he at? Where was he at this weekend? He was noticeably absent.
I think they were trying to do some harvest, and then he just bought himself, I think he's a first-time home buyer, so he was moving into his house and getting things squared away there. And
I need to find out. Who did his mortgage, because he never called me. We're gonna have to, him and Hollywood and I are gonna have to talk about that. So I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I was thinking about that. I knew that would come up.
I wouldn't cut him any slack either.
He probably paid cash.
Yeah, well, you never know.
Hey, Roger Rui just gave you a compliment, Andrew. So
yeah, we had a good time. Fun season.
It was. You guys were competitive. Hey, Andrew, I'm really familiar with like the 85 Limited Pro and the Badger State 466 Hot Farms.
Mm-hmm.
Is your class real similar to like the 85 Limited Pros like I see on the Western Series and ECI, or what's the light Limited Pros? What, you guys run 8,500?
We're 8,500. Basically, all of our rules are the same. The only thing is, I don't know when you get to ECI and some of them other groups what their pump rule is. I mean, we're 13 mil pump.
Okay.
3x4 smooth bore. Some guys in the class still run the old Precision. 466. Basically everything's the same.
Okay, cool. No, there was like 20 million of them down in Nashville, Illinois, on Friday and Saturday. Like I think we had 20 some plus, but pretty sure. I really wish pulling organizations. What we do is there's 5 words to describe pulling: farm, super, pro, light, unlimited. And then we take them all and we throw them into a hat and we pull out 3 names. And that's how we name that class. And it's, I'm just kind of joking, obviously, because NHRA is the same way with Top Fuel and Funny Car and stuff like that. But light limited pro is a word I'm getting more used to now that, I'm following the Outlaws a little bit more and different things like that. And I've always wanted to ask one of you guys, how close are you to like a 9,500 pound hot farm for Badger State that I see, or used to see more consistently, or an 85 limited pro like with ECI, and that's kind of what I figured. So,
yeah, the Missouri State has a pro field class, 9,500 pound pro field. I know a lot of times when we're in Missouri, those guys they'll lose 1,000 pounds and come hook 85 limited pro. So,
yep, no, that's good. Andrew, how long have you been pulling? Can you? I mean, for those of you, I don't know you as well as Ron does. You've never let me drive your tractor. You're kind of a dick like that, but. I had to say it.
Well, you should have been a Buckner that night.
Yeah, that's all good. Can you kind of just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for a living, where you live, how you got into pulling, how long you've been pulling, just kind of your history for us?
I live in West Point, Nebraska, just outside of town here. If nobody knows where West Point is, it's 15, 20 miles away from Wisner.
I do. They make butter there.
There you go. I guess as far as what I do, I got a repair business going, ag repair. A couple years ago, I put in a dyno and started working on pulling tractors and stuff. So I do a little bit of that. And then we farm, family farms and whatnot. But I guess what got me into it, I went to school in Milford, diesel tech, and then I worked at the case dealership for a couple of years and had an uncle that was heavily involved in pulling, and he passed away from cancer, and that was my time, I thought, to move home. And he ran a super farm, and I mean, a lot of nights I'd go out. I worked at the dealership in Wahoo, Nebraska, which was just on the road from Norm and Steve Cavan's.
Okay.
I'd go out there in the evenings, and me and Steve would work till God only knows how long. Midnight, 1 o'clock. It's like, man, can we go home yet? And I mean, that guy puts in hours. So I went and did that. And when I moved back home, I started working on some neighbors' equipment and helping out at the farm. And it just kind of blew up into a full-time repair deal. And so that's kind of where I'm at full-time now. I was in the shop every day and doing stuff like that. So
what was your uncle's name, Andrew?
Jeff Stratman. He ran the Black Powder Magnum Super Farm, which is now the Rick Engelmeyer's Ultimate Muscle.
Okay. Thank you.
So they were kind of in on it together at the time.
Nice.
Cool. Are you in the shop right now?
No, I'm not. I'm actually out in we got a patio on our house. The wife is putting the kids to bed and everything else. So
Gotcha.
He's in the jacuzzi, Ron. Can't you tell?
I saw the windows behind you, and I'm thinking, is that the dyno room? I'm trying to figure it out where you're at there. So.
If his dyno room is wooded like that, I'm going to start going there. So.
Well, I figured he was in the yeah.
So when did you, Andrew? What year did you build your tractor? What class did you start in? Did you start with your current tractor, the 305, or what you got going on there?
No, honestly, back when I'd go pulling with my uncle, I actually started out with the antique deal. I had an M and built that up, did the whole overboard deal and went out and played with that. And then was super farm pulling with my uncle. And then when he passed away, Rick has the tractor now. And I thought, man, I got to stay in pulling. So I actually built myself a 3,000 RPM.
Okay.
I pulled that for, 3, 4, 5 years, maybe max. And we were going to local pulls and this and that. And I'm like, this just ain't working for me. I said, I need to get back in. We always ran with the Outlaws and Bush. I said, I want to go back outlaw pulling. 85 Limited Pro came out with the Outlaws in, trying to remember here, 2014 maybe? 13, 14, something like that. I missed the first year they came out. And I built my tractor, that winter, and the following year I got it out. And it's always been, I guess the first year I never had it painted, but it's always been the Gold Hood demonstrator. So,
yeah.
Sticking with that class, or any thoughts of changing, moving to another class?
As of right now, I'm pretty happy where we're at. I mean, there's so much competition. We can go anywhere and pull. It's affordable for me right now to do what I'm doing, bumping up anything bigger sometime down the road, I hope. Maybe when my little boy's a little bigger, we can, do something a little different.
KVB is offering a little advice here, Andrew. Not sure if you can see the comments, but he said he's glad you came back and pulled with the Outlaws and a great asset, but he thinks it's time to step up to a diesel super stock.
Well, I'm not opposed to trying something different, but he better be loaning me some turbos or something.
Andrew, how many fingers do you have tractors into, or like how many tractors are you working on?
Oh boy. I think right now I got 5 or 6 85 Limited Pros. I got 2 or 3 3,200 or 3,000 RPM guys. Worked with the new super farm that came out this last year, that Jared Johansson's Blaze of Glory. Alan Andrews and I, we talk and work together quite a bit. Bunch of hot farms down here, farm pulling guys I help out with. So handful of guys.
So you stay very, very busy. And then, by the way, Van Beek says they got 12 turbos to go with the tractor. So.
Are those good turbos, or are those?
Kurt's.
Yeah.
I think for the most part, Kurt's pretty honest, but I don't know if Taylor is or not. Taylor's been good to me personally, but we could have to see. So it's all good.
Yeah, I had to wear Taylor's shoes there to pull on Sunday. By the way, he's got little feet.
Maybe that's why the brake didn't work as well as it should have run.
That's why I never hit the brakes.
Yeah. I'll do better next time. I promise.
Yeah, no sweat.
Yeah. I do appreciate it. That was awesome. That was definitely.
Andrew, how old are your kiddos?
I got my little boy is almost 3.5, and we just had a little baby. She's about 4 months old. So
Nice. The 3.5-year-old, do they get it? Like, Dad's a tractor puller. Do they get excited? Where are we at?
do they get it? The kid's unbelievable. I mean, we don't really watch too much TV, and he never watches TV. But there's one show that he will watch, and we watch it every single night. Outlaw Pulling TV.
Good deal.
And I mean to tell you, I love pulling, and I live and die for it. But sometimes he almost burns me out. I mean, I come in from the shop, and we got a sled in the garage that we can pedal pull with, and we got a pedal pull. We got to watch Outlaw Pulling every night, and he hears Ron Stone, and you ought to hear him. I mean, he's a spitting image.
I love it.
Lay down with him at night. You know, we put him to bed. Always got to watch a couple hooks before we go to bed. I mean, we used to read books, but he's past that book reading deal. So
I love it. No, I mean, and I can relate to that. I've spent a lot of money because of tractor pulling, and I blame it on my dad every time. So that's what makes it fun.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my dad and I used to have I had a bunch of the Erdl tractors as a kid, and we had tractor pulls pulling the plastic barbell weights that were filled with weight, and we'd hook to those, and we'd have tractor pulls with those Erdl tractors on the carpet at home. So yeah, I was pretty ate up with it when I was a kid too. Everything was tractor pulling, pulled stuff with my bikes and things like that. So yeah, that's awesome though. Brooke come on and said she's going to steal my job before too long. So.
No, Graham is gonna.
Oh, that's why. No, Brooke said that Graham is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we've had the young guns on, Ron. We could go down to the adolescents if you need to. We could start interviewing pullers' kids. That'd be kind of fun. So.
Would he come on and be interviewed, Andrew?
You know, he'd probably be shy, but I think we could sneak it in to where when he's on the carpet, pulling with his toys or something. I mean, he's got sound effects and everything, and once in a while, a tractor will go halfway down the track and he'll go, boom, blew up the turbo. I mean, he's got it down.
Andrew, if you can get any video of that, please send it to me.
We'll try.
That would be awesome. That'd be awesome.
We're hoping this next summer, most of you guys, obviously, you see that, me and Myers, we hang out a lot. We feed each other a lot of crap and this and that. But they got a little garden tractor called Little Rambunctious. And we're hoping we can get Graham on that this next summer, go down to the State Fair, Missouri, or go to Mobile, Iowa, take it with us and go there and get him on that. So
yeah, that'd be cool.
That would be cool. Andrew, do you have any brush pulls coming up after the outlaw season that you're going to be going to, or winter pulling? What's going on? Like, I don't know Nebraska well enough. Is it pretty much done now, or?
Honestly, I've never had my tractor at a winter pull. I don't even have an indoor pipe. We're so busy in the winter. I've never taken the time. I'll go and watch and this and that, but I'd like to one day get to an indoor pull with my tractor. But the only other pull that I'll probably go to will be this weekend. We're planning on heading down to Bedford, Iowa.
Yep. We had Brent Roberts on Let's Grow Pulling last night. It was funny because his kids were in the house, and by the time 5 minutes into the show, all three of them were out there. One of them was in his underwear just waving, and it was a hoot.
Yep, I'll see you Saturday. I'll be up there, Andrew.
Yeah, Ron, and Brent said really good things about you, and I didn't have to pay him.
So he did? Really? Oh, yep. Tell him the check's in the mail. So
well, he said he was going to pay you to announce. So weird. So Andrew, I've enjoyed the little, I don't know you that well, but I've enjoyed the time I've spent with you guys and with you and Tristan and the back and forth. You guys are what make it fun. The comments, and we're all out to beat each other, and I really enjoy that. Just the banter and the fun, and it's good for pulling. The pulling family that we talk about all the time. And I was down in Nashville, Illinois over the weekend, and I was with some people, some sponsors, and they were like, "Why do you love this so much?" And I'm like, "Just wait till after the pull." And it was 5 a.m. when we went to bed, and they were like, Saturday they were mad as hell at me because they were tired and hungover, but they were like, "I get it now." Like just going from trailer to trailer to trailer, and everybody's cooking and drinking and having a good time. He wasn't out of control, but it was fun. And I showed them that side of pulling that they had not seen before, because you don't see that in the stands, because that 13 seconds of pulling the tractor is amazing. Don't get me wrong, but the drive to the pull, getting your vehicle ready, competing with your competitors, it's a full it's a full-time job, for that couple days. It's amazing. I love it. Love it, love it, love it.
So yeah, your class, Andrew, Steve Deckinger, Meister's a good dude. Glad he's met you in the sport of pulling. The rumor mill here. Let's talk rumors. I mean, Roger Ruiz is obviously watching, and he kind of put a question out there to the pulling fans about what class they'd like to see him move to. You think there's any truth to that? Is he going to move on to another class? Maybe we can get Roger to chime in here.
As far as I know, coming through Rumorville, I think he's bumping up to the 4-1 class, but that's just what I've been told. So
he can stay right where he is, Andrew. So.
Well, we got to get you to a pull, Jason.
Yep, I went to McLouth, Kansas. I went to one outlaw hook this summer, and I was supposed to go to 10 to 12 of them, and I let Mr. Van Beek down. I'm not going to lie. So it's not because I wanted to. My tractor and I just did not get along well this summer. So.
Yeah, we were looking forward to it, but hey, maybe next year. Huh? But Andrew, you talk about indoor pulling. I know a pretty good indoor pull in Kansas City. We'd like to see you come pull.
I've been to that one several times. Every year I think we go down and it's last minute. We're getting Myers ready or Tim Dunklaw's ready or Mike Mason breaks. It's always scrambling last minute, and that's a great pull. That is a pull that I hate to have to ever miss. I mean, obviously it's close to home to us, but yeah. Awesome venue, awesome track, good show.
So rumor mill is over. It's on your screen. So done. Roger Rui is going 4-1. So
said one is being built.
Unless somebody's logged in as him, which is possible because I've had people steal my identity before.
No way.
No way.
So, well, Andrew, I can't say thank you enough for turning the tractor over to me for a hook there. I sure appreciate it.
I love what Dave Bennett said. I wonder who's going to pay for it when he breaks it. That was money.
Well, see, that's why I didn't want the RPM to get up over 4,500.
Those 466, they can go high. Don't worry, Ron. Don't even worry about it.
Ron, you should have drove it when we had the precision on. That was 6,000 RPM every single time off the line.
Yep.
Wow.
And honest to God, you guys will laugh at this. Tristan Myers, when he hurt his foot that year and he had that boot on, me and Tristan and Mike Golda, I don't know why we had these stupid ideas in our head, but we all had the idea of who could get the most RPM off the line.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
We thought that was great. I think I had it at 6,200 there for a while, but Tristan kind of slipped with the boot, and I think 6,450 is what the data logger said one time. And then after that, we kind of looked at each other and said, we can't do this no more. So
you win.
Yep, you win. Game over. We're done. So, but that was fun.
No, that's neat. That's neat.
Yep, I had a blast, man. It was awesome. So.
Nope, sounds good. Yeah, we'll definitely probably see you in Bedford, and yeah, go on and have a good night down there.
Awesome. Yep, I'll be there, buddy.
Yeah, Andrew, that's a lot of fun. I pulled down there in 15 or 16. I don't remember what year it was, but I think we went to Unionville on Friday, and then Bedford was the Saturday after that, and it was a really good time. I remember that. Nice fairgrounds inside that racetrack and stuff like that. So pretty good time.
Yeah, we had a good time last year. Good facility, good track.
Had a lot of hooks last year, too.
Yes.
Right.
Yep. Andrew, thank you for being a puller. Thank you for supporting pulling and the checks in the mail for letting Ron drive your tractor. I appreciate that very much.
Well, we're not getting one from the Outlaw, so don't worry about that one.
You don't pay back to 14th place, Ron?
I had to say it, Ron.
Sorry about that. I'll try harder next time, boss.
No, I ain't worried about it. No sweat. It was all in fun. If we can't have fun, we ain't doing something right.
Yep. Well, I had fun for sure, man. I appreciate it.
Good deal.
So,
Hey, I'm with
throw it
it.
up there one more time.
Starting line, not much.
Let's watch Andrew's
I don't
face.
think our camera's going to show you what I want to show you. I want to get this distance.
Yeah, I didn't realize the tractor had even rolled back right then.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I got to go back to the start line here. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay.
What? Oh, I went too far. Dang it. I do that all the time. Oh, there's an X tractor you're going to drive.
I know that tractor.
Oh, there's Rui, the Rue dog. Andrew, you can keep him in the 85 Limited Pro, okay?
No.
Keep him there.
That's not the agreement here.
No.
ain't on that list.
So Justin Wagler kicked our ass for 2.5 years in Silver Series and 4-1 and all that stuff. And, he sold his chassis to Mike Belsman. He built a pro stock. Well, Saturday night, he drove Mike Belsman's tractor again. And I went up to Clint Tucker and said, no. We got rid of him. You keep him up at pro stock. I want you guys to keep Roger Rui, because that's what the guys like him, they'll be kicking all of our butts here pretty quick. So
I traveled.
I'm going to find it again. Just give me a second.
I will show you.
There it is.
I want to get this distance.
Okay. Seriously, Andrew, you're a good dude for letting him do this.
Well,
Especially Ron, out of all people.
I let Tristan Myers drive my tractor, so man, it can't be any worse than that. No, I'm just kidding, Tristan.
Ron Stone, Linwood, Kansas. Ron, do you feel like a big deal right here?
I feel like a really big deal, man. Really
You should.
I want to be able to get my head through the door here, get out of the office.
At least 314. There's a strong possibility that this tractor will finish up third in the points in second. What does that mean? Well, first of all, the friendship between the owner of the tractor and the driver right now.
Bennett's so
Second of
awesome.
all,
Yeah, I got to call Dave Bennett.
about, I don't know, I'm kind of picking about $1,000 at the end of the year.
Ron, get your checkbook out, kiddo.
I want to know who's going to pay for it when he blows the motor up. Andrew was supposed to be the guy walking in the funny legs and the black shirt right there, supposed to be announcing, but they didn't want him cussing on the microphone when he did something wrong. Here comes an announcer. Help him out, folks. Ron Stone. Sounding good. Had a little trouble with the clutch.
Well, that front end did come up nice, but I just kept my foot off the brake. Huh?
I mean, honestly, Ron, that crappy hole shot really didn't kill you.
It was the right foot on the brake.
Yeah.
Honestly, on that track, that was about the good thing to do, because that coming off the line was kind of tricky. And
It hooked right away the
there.
way you did it, Ron.
Yep.
I'm not saying that's what we would teach you to do, but Ron, but it worked.
Well, that's what I did,
Yeah, because you thought ahead of time.
Yeah, but,
Well, Andrew, we've taken you away from Brooke and the kids long enough. I'm excited to meet Graham next summer and to have him do a little bit of announcing. And you have a good night, sir.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Take care.
Thanks, bud.
take care, buddy.
We can only pick on you so much, Stone.
Oh, no, I love it. I love it. Man, I was grinning from ear to ear at the end of that, if you could have seen my face at the end of that hook. But that was a blast.
Yeah.
No,
it's fun for an announcer because, Ron, you'll remember that for the rest of your life. We've had a few Badger State announcers get to drive a hot farm or a super farm, and every time that tractor comes up, they say, I drove that tractor in 2017, and
right.
It's fun to hear them say that stuff. So,
yeah, it was a blast. Let's talk outlaw points here. Points are over. It's done.
So
deal.
I was watching. I was in Nashville doing some announcing and just promoting of the Nashville poll for Holes Hours. But I was watching my Outlaw app of Cape Girardeau because Clint Medding's my good buddy. And I love all the pro stocks, but I love my Clint Medding, and to see how he did down there, and then the bull wagon took it to the top, and then Porter hung in there and got the win. And Spencer, I was following that Outlaw app like crazy. It was so cool to have that. I'm driving home. We were 8 hours from home on Sunday, driving home, and I was watching all the Spencer results. And Julie Rose was texting me from Hutchinson, Minnesota, about your hook and stuff like that. It was so funny. So,
yeah, the pull down in Cape Girardeau, we didn't know what to expect. I'd never been there, but
was the crowd big?
What a good crowd!
Yeah.
And, you would have loved the crowd as an announcer because they were just real responsive to everything you said to them, and it was just. It's the kind of crowd that you have fun,
Yeah. I did a Make-A-Wish thing down there in 17 or 18. I think it was 17. I had a little boy right on my lap that had congestive heart failure.
I remember that.
And that crowd was awesome. And that's kind of typically and no offense to fairs, but typically after Labor Day, it's hard to get a big crowd at some of these fairs after Labor Day. But man, that place was just packed. They got that big old grandstand, and it
was a big crowd, and they were definitely into it. I mean,
good.
From start to finish, it really made it fun.
How many hooks did you guys have Friday night?
If I remember right, it was like 28, I think.
Okay.
But good pulling. I mean, the whole the whole thing. The 2-wheel drive class was awesome. I don't know if you've seen that, but the points winners were there. The guys that eventually won the points, Texas boys, Zycheks, and they pulled out there, and Whitey damaged his motor a little bit, and then no kidding, they clap every hook for sure. But here comes Richard Morris with the Buffalo's chips and puts 25 feet on the second place.
What?
Just had a monster pass there. It was insane. It was pretty awesome to watch. But I had a great time. I was a little worried. 28 hooks, that's not a whole lot. But, man, we had a great time. The crowd promoter was super happy. So that's exactly what we wanted. They want us to be done so folks could head out on the midway for at least 45 minutes.
For people that have never been to Cape, so these big fairs, the grandstand is there to fill a 2.5 to 3 hour window, and they want to back on the midway.
Yep.
And the first time I heard that was probably 10 years ago, Ron. I was announcing for Badger State up in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, at the Plymouth County Fair. And the fair board president came to me and says, I want this thing done at 8:45. And I looked at him and said, what? We always go to 10. No. You don't understand. See that Ferris wheel and see that corn dog stand? And that was the first time I realized, this is a business.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And it really it opened my eyes on all of that stuff to knock them out. The fans got to, we always talk about a 3 hour seat time anyway. Why go much longer than that? It's like going to the movies. Get them in, get them out, bang. So
exactly. It was a great night, and then pretty good haul from Cape up to Spencer.
Oh yeah, about 12 hours.
I think it was about 10, but it's Google says 10, but I think it took us probably 12 to get up there. But and then of course both those sessions in Spencer was in one day, and just you were talking about some of the close points races there in the pro stock class. But I'm going to start with the 2-wheel drive since that was pretty close as well coming into the weekend. And the Zychek boys went 1 and 2, father son. Robert went number 1. Cole went number 2 in 2-wheel drive. Trevor Fitzsimmons, he led at 1 point, finished 4 points out of second. Timmy Mikowski went 4th, and Donald Nelson and Whippet went 5th in the 2-wheel drives.
I'm just playing some video in the background. It's just so people can watch video and listen to us.
Super Farms.
Yep.
4-wheel drive was another close one, especially the top 2. Foxy Lady, Charlie Miller, he broke a rocker arm coming down the track. Didn't have the finish he wanted, and Josh Major got his first points championship in the modified 4-wheel drive class with unfinished business. Foxy Lady went number 2. Lane Thornton and Thumper 3rd. Last year's champion Eric Claypool went 4th, and Murray Thornton and Backdraft went 5th. That was a new truck for them this year, new to them. Pro Stock 4x4, Keith Hammonds won it with the bipolar Chevy. Last year's champion was 2nd. Holland Grass, Derek Brown. Rat Trap, the Sellemans with 3rd. Toby Vanderpool and the Chain Stretcher 4th, and the Tater Wagon, Dave Walters 5th. Diesel Super Stock, Taylor Van Beek, Extreme Pleasure went number 1. Tyler Beckman, Born Green 2. Doug Meisinger was Scrappy number 3. Scott Frankie and his MX-170 4th. And Matt Goodwin, the Intimidator 5th. And Matt Goodwin, I heard that was still waiting on parts, so that's why we didn't see him.
Yep, he was. I can confirm that. So
is this
yep,
this Foxy Lady's broken rocker arm that we're seeing here? Or is
yes, sir. One of the most popular posts on the Outlaw Facebook page right now. So. People love carnage, Ron.
Yeah. Light Limited Pro, we were just talking to Andrew Meister. Roger Rui, One Mean Farmer, came out on top. Mark Wiggins and the Demon Deer is listed as 2nd. Andrew Meister 3rd. They're tied numerically, which means if Demon Deer is ahead of him, he had more first place finishes, or there was a tiebreaker there. Spare Time, Brady Gosser went 4th, and Mike Hargens and the Wild Side 5th. Limited Pro Stock, Gary Barrett. Tractor was on a roll all year at a Ravenna, Nebraska, the high stakes horsepower. Daley Paulson, one of our young guns finished second in points.
Man, and they fought for that, Ron, hard.
Yeah, they sure did. Tyler Paddock, she passed Tyler Paddock at Spencer. Tyler was in second, and she had a really good hook. I think
she got second place, I think.
Second place, yeah. So Tyler with third. Brent Paddock, Digging Deep Beer, fourth, and Gary Honeycutt and Jack went fifth. Light Super Stock, no surprise here. Mark Ulmer and Eleanor, second one in a row for that tractor. The Weapon with Mark Ulmer in second. Ryan Boyce under construction third. Jim Scheffler in fourth with Too Much Fun. The Barn Burner, Corey Schluter in fifth. The Big Pros, Gray Porter out of Mercer, Missouri. This was a pretty tough battle.
How much did he beat Medding by? How many points?
It ended up being 11. 11
wow.
Total. Yeah. The Bull Wagon ended up third. Cody Yarrick and Gone in fourth. And Kyle Carson's A Lot of Green went fifth. Super Farm was another close one. The Red Rock team out of Rock Valley, Iowa went first. Chad Weisenkamp someday went second. Chad Andrews, the Bruley Buck, third. Alan Andrews won in Spencer, but he ends up fourth in the points. And Mark Roberts, Spanky's Toy, in fifth.
Hey, next year, Ron, we got the Medding Militia and the Ulmer Mafia. Write that down.
The Medding Militia.
Write it down, Ron. That way
I'm going to have to write it down. We came up with a neat nickname for somebody here a while back, and I can't remember what it was even.
Well, you're getting old, buddy. I'm just here to help you.
Getting older, you mean? Yeah.
Yep.
The Medding Militia, the Ulmer Mafia. Unlimited Superstock, Gary Whip, Deer Fever went number one. Taylor Craig, second with the Deer Factor. Taylor Craig and Colin Weens. Justin Hoffman, third with Last One Standing. He took the win in
Spencer. Yep.
Yeah, in Spencer.
We just showed his video. So.
Lauren Paulson, the Deer Commander, fourth, and Glenn Freeze and Red Ink, fifth in the Unlimited Superstocks. Now, these were all the classes that were decided at Spencer. So we do have some other classes that have been decided previously. We can go through those too.
Please do.
Light Modified Tractors, Blake Ott won that with Foreign Affairs, the twin turbine. His brother Gage Ott took second with Warhawk. And then Blake again in third with the Frequent Flyer. Adam Kaiser and Crushing It fourth. Chris Mites and Burning It Down in fifth. If we go to the big mods, which was determined last weekend in Warrensburg and Buckner, the Ulmer Mafia come out on top by 2 points over Wayne Longnecker. The Sweet Pain goes first, River Rat second. Last year's champion, Don Nelson, Twisted Whip third. Don Nelson, the Texas Bull Whip fourth, and Cameron Neves and Cotton Candy fifth. And we go to the naturally aspirated two-wheel drive that was determined at the Iowa State Fair. Terry Van Beek, Slightly Twisted out of Rock Valley first. Mark Crowley and Hot Iron second. Aaron Deckers and Raging Red third. Dustin Van Beek, Twisted Sister fourth. Dirt Diva, Tammy Hunick in fifth. 3200 Pro Field. Gary Cavanaugh had a really good year. Went first with Red Edge 2. Casey Asmus, the Deer Cruiser, just 5 points behind him in second. Tyler Franken, She Said No, just 5 points out of second in the third spot. Billy Rui in fourth with Buck Wild. Jacob Palama and the Burning Binder in fifth. And then the 540 Light Pros. Ryan Mitchell and Hostile Environment first. Rich Johnson, Shag Nasty in second. Just Another Buck, Justin Grimes in third. John Narragon, Rugrat Rampage fourth, and Alan Shellum, Constant Chaos fifth. And that's all of them, every class there.
That keeps you busy, Ron.
Yeah. So we're already working on 2022. I mean, 2021's not over. Points wise, it is. We still have another hook, non-points hook down in Texas, Lufkin, Texas next month. But already working on 2022 here.
I don't think people realize, Ron, how really, the polling associations work 365, you know what I mean? Just to keep everything going and rock and roll. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
and Fuller's too. I mean, we're already tearing my motor down and making plans for next year to make it bigger and better and make it live.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, well, hopefully they accomplish that. We'd like to see you out a little more next year.
especially if Roger Rui's coming. I got to go stomp on his ass a little bit, if you know what I'm saying. So.
Yeah, he's pretty tough in that light limit.
Oh, I mean it when I said they can keep him in the 85s. I mean it. So. I would assuming you'll be back in Spencer. We don't know yet, right? So.
As far as we know, I think we will be. There's Daly Paulson. She had a good hook.
It's fun to wrap up a season championship, though, Ron. You know, at a big place like that. So, what's Hussett Speedway, Mark? I don't even know. You know what that is, Ron?
I do not. I do not.
We'll let Mark. We'll Mark camp.
Get an explanation here out of Mark. It was windy at Spencer. I'll tell you that, especially that first session.
Branson, South Dakota. That's what Ham's saying. I've not. Did you guys have a hook there in the past? I can't remember.
Not that I can recall, but
only Branson I know is Branson, Missouri, right?
Madison, South Dakota. We got rained out this year, but
there's Clint Medding watching daily. Yeah, for Daly never driving a 4-1 to get second in points. That's awesome.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah, we got rained out the 1 year. I think that was in September, Ron. I think that the Outlaws tried to have one there maybe before you were involved as much. So.
Gotcha.
No, I'm just sharing some video, Ron. I mean, I can.
Sure. Yeah, congratulations to all the points winners. I mean, love to see those classes come down to the last hook or two. You know, that's pretty awesome to go to the points finale and, you know, where it could go either way. You know, 1 or 2 or even 3 different drivers and tractors could win it. It builds that suspense and it gets you excited as an announcer too. And if you can convey that to the crowd, you know, then you've done your job. But pretty cool to see that happen like that. You know.
Yeah, I've been at 2. So last weekend, 2 weeks ago, I was in Marshfield, Wisconsin for the end of WTPA season. And I was just a trackside announcer, just interviewing the winners and the points champions, stuff like that. And there was a couple classes, Ron, that they had to wait, Jason, we don't know yet. They were trying to figure it all out with some tiebreakers and stuff like that. And the same thing with Western Series with the 85 Limited Pros. And I think maybe the 4-wheel drive trucks as well, kind of the same scenario. And that's what you want as a fan,
absolutely, as
an announcer, as a competitor heading into that last hook, you know, bottom of the 9th, 2 outs. You know, I say that a lot when I'm announcing, but that's what it's all about.
Yep, absolutely. You know, with the app, you know, you could check that a lot easier.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, before the app, you know, I'd have to go in and, you know, figure it up and figure out the drops and such. And with the app, you look at it and you get kind of excited when you see, you know, somebody's tied up or, you know, there's only a point or two separating them. And, you know, going into that last hook, you know, it's anyone's pull. So, yeah, it's really cool.
Here's our 4-1 champion right here.
Yeah, he'd been tough all summer. He kind of dominated that class, kind of, you know, like Rui did the 85.
Yeah, all he had to do was show up Sunday, right?
Yeah, he was. I can tell you the gap he had. Let's see. Yeah, he honestly
did he have to show up?
Didn't even have to show up. I mean, he was 36 points ahead. There's 28 points to win. So.
Yeah, I'm not good at math, Ron, but I did the math. So.
Yeah, gotcha.
But he got off to a great start early on and never let up.
Did you have to take your shoes off? Not your toes?
Yep. Not this time.
Yeah, keep those things on. Yeah, Gary Barrett, pretty tough this year.
How was the crowd in Spencer, Ron?
You know, they had a good crowd, but it's one of those grandstands that's just absolutely massive.
Right.
So you look up there and you think, well, there's really not that many people here. But then you look at how big the grandstand is. Well, maybe there is a lot of people here.
Yeah.
And people said it was actually the largest crowd of any grandstand event they had this year. So
good.
People were there every day. So
Well, that's how I was in Dubuque too. I thought, there isn't 1,000 people here, and you said later there. I was like, but it was double what I thought it was going to be, just because that big hillside and different things like that. Remember that stupid rain?
Yeah, I remember it. I recall it well.
Yep.
So it'll be fun here in the off season to, as the schedule, gets worked on, to see any new events that may come up. It'll be exciting to see the rumor mill and who's building what and what's changing, kind of like Roger Rui. We already quelled that rumor. It's fact now that we know he's building the 4-1. And
I really wanted him to go unlimited super stock. I'm not going to lie. So, all of us did. All of us 4-1 pullers did. So,
but it'll be exciting to see, what other changes are coming, and what pullers are building, what they're changing, what new faces we may see, I have a feeling we might see some new faces with the Outlaws next year. So.
Yeah, Brandon was a really good interview. I know you wanted to be on there, but I get it. I muted you because you were in the car and it was in and out, and it was the right thing to do. So
I heard it and I was like, is this me or is this Brandon when he was talking? And I shut it off when I needed to get out and help her fix her car anyway. But I just shut it off because I thought it was me going in and out. So.
Well, you and I are going to keep this going, right? All winter long.
Yeah.
That's the plan.
Yeah, we're gonna keep working on these young guns, and then this fall, I'd like to get the legends in here too, get the guys that have been pulling forever. The Gary Whips and the Mark Ulmers and Wayne Longneckers and things. So
yeah, our show's going to be probably 30 minutes to 40 minutes at most, unless something big's going on. I mean, tonight we're going almost on 2 hours now, but the whole idea, it should. It's the end of the season. We had Brandon Holcomb on. He's new executive director. It's a big announcement for the Outlaws. So a lot of different things are going on with that, Ron. But I would think if we can get a good interview, Ron, once every Tuesday night throughout the winter, and just keep the excitement up for the season. And I'm telling you, May and June will be here before you know it.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, the season. I can't believe the season is over. It's crazy.
And then Roger's doing a good job. Always suck up to the announcer and to the sled operator. Always. Those are the two things I recommend to every new puller. So.
Thanks, Roger. So you're actually building a 4-1. Where what are you doing with the tractor you have now? If you're building a different tractor, curious.
Well, if let's send Roger the link. Piss on it. This is what we do.
All right.
I'll send it to him right now. Roger, jump on. Unless you're naked, we don't want to see that. So I am positive that I am friends with him on the old Facebook. So.
Yeah, that tractor is gorgeous.
Well, I've watched him at the Midwest Winter Nationals, Gordyville, just dominate. You know what I mean? Just dominate. So, Roger, if you feel so obliged, check your Facebook Messenger, click on the link, type in your name, and join Ron and I for a few minutes. I'm gonna go home and eat some chicken, Ron. I told my wife I'd be home around 8, so it's only an hour later.
We want details, Roger.
Same tractor. Oh, okay. Well, Roger, if you want to jump on for a few minutes. You sure can. We'll wait for a minute to see if Roger's going to jump on, Ron. Otherwise, we'll wrap this baby up. So.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
Even though I didn't get to my 10 or 12 outlaw hooks this summer like I had originally planned, I've had a great time working with you, Ron, announcing the Iowa State Fair. I've made that very clear that I want to do that again.
That was a blast.
And I named us the announcers before it was even over on the second day. So.
Yep. Yeah, that's crazy that we've both been around and been friends for a while, and we've never announced together.
Yep.
And at the Iowa State Fair, it hit me. I was like, I've never even announced with him before. And shoot, we did it like we'd been doing it for a long time. So I thought we worked well together there.
Besides the state troopers waiting for you underneath the announcer stand when the governor was there. Other than that, I think, Ron, I really wasn't worried about anything. So.
It was a good time. It's a good time.
It was the best.
So is Roger coming on?
Nope. He's going to bed.
Going to bed. Must be in harvest or something.
Yeah.
Must be busy or something and tired. So good deal.
Well, every Tuesday night, 7:00, pay attention to the Outlaw website for any updates. The next big thing is the banquet, November 19th, 2021, something like that for the Outlaws down in the Ozarks, I believe, right?
Yep, at Margaritaville.
Tammy's going to bed too. So
it's going to be a fun place when it's called Margaritaville. So.
Link didn't work. Hold on, then, Roger. Let me try again. Copy to clipboard.
Send him a bogus link. Wow.
I did not do that. There's no way. He was a John Deere guy. I would blame it on him being a John Deere guy, but I can't even do that. So. I sent it again. We'll give Roger another minute or so.
Good deal. Hey, I'm going to plug the Lufkin pool here while we're waiting on Roger.
You should.
15th and 16th of October. If you like semis, drag racing semis pulling, truck and tractor pulling, truck shows. If you're a red dirt fan, you like Wade Bowen. These are all things you'll see at the Lufkin show, October 15th and 16th. Outlaws will be there Friday and Saturday night. Friday night at 7. Friday night at 7, Saturday night at 5, because the concert will be immediately after the tractor pull. So there was like 10,000 people there last year on Saturday, and they're expecting more this year. So big show, a lot of fun. If you're in the area, if you got a free weekend, you just want to go camping, they got camping spots. Head down to Lufkin, Pine Valley Speedway. They're in Lufkin. Be another great show there this year. I'm looking forward to it.
Roger just tried to call me on Messenger, and I told him to click on the link. So we'll give him a second here. So I found my outlaw golf balls that I was supposed to hit into the crowd Saturday night with my frog costume, Ron. So I told Van Beek I wanted some golf balls. So these have outlaw logos on them. And then they've kind of wore off because I've had them in the heat. They had a little number on them. And then people could take these to the merchandise stand and get different prizes and stuff like that. Well, but the outlaw logos have wore off because I've had them all in my trailer and they kind of melted. But my wife was like, why do you have a bag of styrofoam golf balls? I'm like, well, I was going to hit a 9-iron with my frog costume into the crowd at Rock Valley. So I'll have to save that for next year, Ron. So
I was getting ready to ask if they were actual golf balls because hitting them into the crowd didn't sound very safe.
No, they were foam. Kurt would not let me do something like that, Ron. I promise. Well, Ron, let's head her to bed, buddy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Thank you to Brandon Holcomb for coming on the show, Ron. I guess we can never thank Andrew Meister enough for letting you truck guys run a diesel tractor. So
took a chance on me. I didn't break it.
Yep.
And I didn't snuff it. So just got to tie my right foot to the floor there so I'm not grabbing brakes. So
at least you hit the right brake. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right, buddy. Good show. Sorry I was late tonight. I had to rescue a relative. So
sorry I didn't send you the link until 7:03. So it's all good.
That's all right. We're good.
All right.
Till next week.
Thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you next Tuesday, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time.
See y'all.
See you. I was going to try to show that funny video of that Canadian kid. Here it is. This is so funny. I love this a lot.
Yesterday, how did you do?
I got second place. I lost by 4 feet.
And today?
I was 700 pounds light because I didn't really know the weight of the tractor, and that was the first time I ever pulled her. And today, well, let's talk about today. I put her in the 16,000 pound class. I put her in third gear. They were all 280, 290. One was 310, maybe 312.
And you were?
I put her right at 370 feet right in the sand pond. The only mistake I made, I didn't put her right in the registration booth with the girl.